Documentary filmmakers and random witnesses have captured many cases of bizarre animal behavior that are often hard to explain. Now, I'll show you the most unusual of these videos. Let's get started. During the filming of a wildlife documentary, a BBC team captured an amazing phenomenon in the ocean. They were recording striped and whiskered cat sharks hunting in underwater vegetation. Their potential prey, an octopus, constantly had to devise different strategies to avoid becoming dinner. It tried its best to hide, swimming from spot to spot, searching for safe places. But when caught off guard, the octopus did something incredible. The creature created actual armor for itself using shells, which also served as camouflage. Scientists had never observed this behavior before these shots were taken. The octopus manages to stay hidden for quite a while, but the shark eventually senses its prey, although the shells confuse it. The defense strategy worked perfectly. In this hungry underwater forest, such resourcefulness is key to the octopus's survival. Take a look at this footage. This isn't a park with tamed animals. This was filmed in the wild. If this scene doesn't blow your mind, you probably don't know much about lions and hyenas. These two species are natural enemies, but due to some unusual circumstances, these predators decided to share a meal. For a full 25 minutes, they shared the prey, until the hyena got tired of the truce and brazenly took it all for itself, reminding the lioness exactly why their species are enemies. These adorable birds are kea parrots. They're known as New Zealand's biggest troublemakers and are considered some of the smartest birds in the world. But their curiosity drives people in mountain regions crazy. Behind their mischievous behavior, though, lies a pretty dark secret. These birds are, believe it or not, shapeshifters. At night, these cute creatures transform into bloodthirsty monsters. After dark, they start feeding on sheep. First, the kea pulls out the wool, then starts pecking away at the animal's flesh. Food is scarce in the areas where these parrots live, so they've figured out this clever way to get protein and fat. This behavior has made them pretty unpopular with New Zealand farmers. This disabled monkey, after getting caught in a poacher's trap, lost 3 limbs. While most animals don't survive such injuries, this one proved different. The monkey adapted by finding an incredible way to move using its single remaining limb, lifting its body at a 90-degree angle. The cameraman who stumbled upon this remarkable sight could hardly believe his eyes. Look at this young elephant. What's it doing? Courting a female rhino? This elephant is currently in musth, a hormonal surge that leads to a heightened drive to mate. Since young male elephants aren't allowed near females in their herd, they become frustrated and sometimes harass rhinos, which slightly resemble female elephants. Although the elephant's behavior may seem playful, it can turn aggressive at any moment. In South African reserves, elephants in musth have killed more than 120 rhinos. Fortunately, this female rhino escaped unharmed. This is one of Arabia's deserts. Here, nomads enjoy adding variety to their diet. The spiny-tailed lizard is a popular local delicacy. The reptile hides from the sun in a burrow, but this is an unreliable refuge. A captured lizard stays fresh for several days. To help these lizards avoid capture by humans or other predators, they need an ally. This black scorpion also looks for shelter, preferably a lizard's burrow, wanting to escape the heat. These two completely different species have made a deal. The scorpion never stings the homeowner, and the lizard welcomes its venomous tenant. In return, the scorpion acts as a guard, keeping away foxes and other predators. Their partnership makes hunting the lizard dangerous. The biggest risk comes when humans reach into these burrows. While this scorpion's sting isn't deadly to humans, it causes several days of pain. This arrangement benefits both animals, a perfect example of symbiosis. The lizard gets protection from predators, and the scorpion stays cool. While heat is a major challenge in the desert, cold can be just as problematic. The inhabitants of the Kalahari Desert experience this firsthand during winter. At dawn, temperatures can drop so low that insects don't fly, creating a problem for the drongo. But this bird has a clever solution. The drongo is the Kalahari's most accomplished trickster, and its targets are a family of meerkats, true masters of desert life. After warming up in the morning sun, the meerkats begin their search for breakfast. This is when the drongo puts its plan into action, but first it needs to earn their trust. When it spots a hunting eagle, it makes a warning call. The grateful meerkats quickly dash into their burrows for safety. Once the eagle has passed and the danger is gone, the meerkats emerge and continue hunting small creatures. Now that the drongo has earned their trust, it starts to take advantage. It waits until a meerkat catches some prey, then makes the warning call again. This time, though, it's a false alarm. The meerkats fall for it and run for cover, leaving their catch behind. The drongo swoops in and steals the meal, leaving the meerkats with nothing. The meerkats wise up and won't fall for the same trick twice. When the drongo tries again a few minutes later, they ignore it. From its perch in a tree, it watches enviously as a meerkat catches a scorpion, a tasty meal the drongo wants but can't get. Suddenly, everyone hears what sounds like a sentinel meerkat's alarm call. No meerkat would ever ignore this, as sentinels never give false alarms, but there's no real danger and the sentinel hasn't actually made any sound. It was the drongo again, perfectly mimicking the meerkat's own alarm call, an ability that amazes scientists. The drongo gets its scorpion after all. One bird has outsmarted an entire clan of meerkats. The drongo only uses these tricks during the harshest winter months. For the rest of the year, it honestly helps protect the meerkats. In the end, this arrangement benefits both the meerkat family and the drongo. We've all known for a long time that female praying mantises often eat males right after mating, sometimes even during it. But one species takes this behavior to a whole new level, the false garden mantis. What this female does is truly outrageous. When she's hungry and not interested in mating, she releases pheromones to attract males. When one shows up, instead of mating, she simply eats him. While other female mantises eat males during or after mating, this species eats them without mating at all. She uses her pheromones not for reproduction but for hunting. It's just incredible audacity and cunning, but it helps hungry females gain strength before actually mating with another male mantis later. Let's journey to the misty forests of the Andes. Here live creatures with a unique way of finding food. You might witness an incredible sight: bears in trees. Sometimes several bears can be spotted at heights of up to 100 feet. These are spectacled bears, a species so rare that few people ever see them. Their frequent presence in trees is directly related to their diet. These creatures primarily eat leaves and fruits. But to reach the fruit, they don't just climb trees, they do something remarkable. Take this tall tree, for example, with just one fruit hanging from a thin branch that's too weak to support a bear's weight. When competitors approach, these bears have a clever trick. They partially break branches. They bite the branch just enough so it hangs at a level where they can reach the fruit. Once the branch falls, it's a race to the ground to grab the fruit before others get to it. Bears in general are intelligent and cunning creatures. Just think about how they catch spawning salmon. They simply open their mouths and let the fish jump right in. Caimans use a similar smart strategy. During the rainy season, when rivers swell, they simply lie still and wait for fish to swim into their mouths. While all reptiles are energy conservation experts, these guys are real masters at gaming the system. Birds have their own clever tricks too. The tropical forests of Ecuador are home to over 130 species of hummingbirds, including the sword-billed hummingbird. This innocent-looking bird is actually one of the forest's craftiest tricksters. Hummingbirds can perform incredible aerial maneuvers, beating their wings up to 80 times per second, allowing them to hover perfectly still. But this impressive ability comes at a cost. The thing is, the sword-billed hummingbird, like all others, needs to eat twice its weight in food every single day. If humans had the same metabolism, we'd need to drink 3 energy drinks every minute just to stay alive. Through evolution, hummingbirds have developed a partnership with plants. Flowers provide nectar, and in return, the birds help with pollination. But since each flower produces limited nectar daily, competition is fierce. Each species has developed its own strategy. The tiny purple-throated hummingbird makes up for its small size by mimicking a bee's buzzing sound with its wings, scaring away competitors before feeding. Most hummingbirds are terrified of bees because a single sting can be fatal. Other hummingbirds rely on agility or strength, but none of them break their agreement with the plants, except for the sword-billed hummingbird. It's a real rebel. While the others are fighting, the sword-billed hummingbird just takes action. This little guy doesn't go into the flower the normal way. Instead, it goes down to the base of the flower and makes a hole right where the nectar is produced, getting straight to the source. While it gets its meal, the flower goes unpollinated. By breaking this unwritten agreement with plants, this clever bird has found an easy way to get nectar while avoiding competition altogether. If you want to witness truly unusual animal behavior, this is the place. These hairless, tender pink little bundles are newborn shrews. They can only remain babies for a short time. To survive, they need to grow quickly and learn to hunt. Shrews must consume food equal to 80 to 90% of their body weight daily. These little creatures must eat every 3 hours, or they'll starve. Right now, they're enjoying plenty of their mother's rich milk. After 2 weeks, they grow almost to her size. But as the mother's milk runs out, they need to learn to navigate the forest. It's time to begin one of nature's most unusual journeys. The mother leads the line and the babies follow behind, gripping the tail of the one in front with their teeth, forming an amazing train. But this isn't a game, it's a training session, the only one in their lives. Scientists call this behavior caravanning. The goal is for the young ones to become familiar with the forest. The quicker they learn, the better their chances of survival. The babies are almost blind, so they rely on smell and touch to navigate. Soon these little ones will have to live independently, so they need to learn their lessons quickly. In just a few hours they'll be alone, and no insect in the forest will be safe from them. Survival in the wild is crucial, and finding a good, reliable home is pure luck. Here, on a tiny Caribbean island, housing is scarce. Hermit crabs use empty seashells from other animals as mobile homes. The shell truly protects the crabs. For example, a boar can't eat a crab because of its shell. The animal survives only thanks to its home. Without it, the crab could burn under the scorching sun. But as the animal grows, the shell becomes too tight, so naturally the crab must move to a bigger one. There are few suitable shells, and they're widely scattered. This one, for instance, is too big. But instead of continuing its search, this little one waits. Soon, other crabs arrive for whom this shell is also too large. They begin to size each other up, and then they do something truly remarkable. They line up in an organized row, the big ones in front and the small ones in back. It's a growth ladder. They form this queue with one purpose: to exchange homes. After carefully inspecting the shell, the large crab moves in. This triggers an immediate chain reaction. Each crab quickly moves into the shell that the crab in front just left. Simply incredible. It's so well organized that these seem like truly intelligent creatures, an amazing sight. But this pales in comparison to what happens every year in North America. These pelicans are heading to this special location. The young follow the adults, who are leading the way to a special beach in the Sea of Cortez. They've arrived right on time. The tide has reached its peak, and the sea presents them with its reward. The entire shoreline is covered with grunion fish. The adult pelicans know exactly when the grunions will wash up on shore, and they pass this knowledge to their offspring flying alongside them. The grunions aren't thrown onto shore by accident. As strange as it may seem, they do this to reproduce. Moving tail first, the females burrow into the sand to lay their eggs. The males then wrap around them to fertilize the eggs. They lay their eggs above the high tide line, where aquatic predators can't reach them. When the next spring tide comes, their offspring will hatch and return to the sea. Catching fish that have come out of the water should be easy for the pelicans. However, they lack the right tool. Their beaks are too bulky to scoop grunions from the sand. The prey is so close, yet so far. The pelicans head out to fish in the surf zone, while behind them the spawning continues. But when the fish return to the water, the pelicans get their chance and begin to do what they do best: diving for their prey. Only 2 species of fish spawn this way. The second species is found on the shores of Newfoundland, where capelin wash up on shore. Millions of tons of fish end up on the sand. Their goal is the same as the grunions: reproduction. This is a feast for bald eagles and herring gulls. The males try to fertilize the eggs that the females lay in the sand. Capelin time their mass spawning with the tide. After a few days, it's all over for these fish. After laying their eggs in the sand, most of them die. Capelin make this incredible sacrifice so their eggs can be on shore, where it's not only safer than in the water, but also warmer than the ocean. The fish lying on shore become a free buffet. There are so many fish that even foxes bury some for later. The swamps of South Carolina are the setting for another remarkable fishing story. It features a highly skilled pod of bottlenose dolphins, closely watched by a group of large white herons that have carefully studied the dolphins' behavior. This group of dolphins has developed a unique hunting strategy that requires coordination, intelligence, and precise timing. As the dolphins maneuver, the herons follow them persistently, hopping from spot to spot. They know to act when a dolphin surfaces, looking for the nearest muddy shore. The herons take their positions, ready to work. Then it begins. The dolphins drive fish onto the shore, not hunting them in the water, but catching them on land. This pod of clever dolphins has developed one of the most unusual feeding tactics. Together, they create a powerful wave that washes fish onto the flat. Then they crawl onto land to devour their prey. As they grab the flopping fish, herons and other birds rush in. This is the only place in the world where dolphins feed this way, beaching themselves. Local birds have learned to take full advantage of this. As the water recedes, the dolphins search for more schools of fish. Young bottlenose dolphins learn this technique from their parents, just as young herons learn to follow them. Many herons have completely stopped catching fish on their own, relying entirely on the fish tossed ashore by the dolphins. Beaching themselves is risky and dangerous for the dolphins. They can only hunt this way for 3 hours during low tide when the muddy flats are exposed. Most of the shore is covered with razor-sharp shellfish. Here, this hunting method can be lethal. The hunters must find a section of shoreline with the right slope. If it's too gentle, the dolphins risk getting stuck. If it's too steep, they can't drive their prey out of the water. To be the first to grab the fish, the dolphins try to beach themselves further up the shore. But if they go too far, they risk not being able to return. To prevent fish from escaping between them, all the dolphins beach themselves on the same side, always the right. But this takes its toll. Each time they grab a fish, they also get a mouthful of sand. Their teeth wear down constantly from the sand, but only on one side. Eventually, their teeth become so worn that older dolphins can no longer hunt this way and must find other methods to catch fish. Orcas also hunt similarly to bottlenose dolphins, but they target sea lions. Sea lions can't give birth at sea. They must come ashore to have their pups. Every summer, thousands of sea lions form colonies along the coast of the Valdez Peninsula in Argentina. While mothers go out hunting, their pups stay on shore because they haven't learned to swim yet. This is when orcas strike. They're the greatest enemies of sea lions and allies of petrels. Young sea lions are oblivious to the danger. Just like with dolphins, birds such as petrels watch the orcas closely, following them and waiting for their attack. The petrels search for potential victims while orcas rely on their speed and surprise. Before making another attempt, an orca needs to drag its 15,000-pound body off the shore. No easy task. They return here every year at the same time to hunt seal pups. The hunting window is brief, and the odds aren't in the hunter's favor. Like dolphins, orcas take a huge risk when they leave their natural habitat. During each attack, they risk getting stranded on the beach. Orcas can only hunt for a few hours each day because rocky reefs block their path during low tide. Until the tide comes in, the seal pups are safe. Early in the season, orcas have one big advantage. The pups are still naive and don't see them as a threat. When an orca succeeds, the petrels feast, and these orcas can take down several sea lions in a day. There's plenty of prey here now. Petrels only get leftovers, though it's more than enough for them. However, the sea lion pups learn fast. Less than half of the orca attacks succeed. With each attempt, the seal pups get smarter. Orcas gradually lose their edge. For several weeks, predators and prey engage in a desperate struggle. Orcas try to catch the seal pups, while sea lions learn to dodge their attacks. These young sea lions have won. They've learned to spot danger and avoid the killers. For orcas, the seal pup hunting season is over until next year. But that's not a problem. They can always find food thanks to their clever minds and impressive skills. They show off some of these skills in the fjords of northern Norway, which stay ice-free thanks to the powerful Gulf Stream. This current comes from the south, bringing warm Caribbean waters. Every winter, billions of herring seek shelter here. The orcas follow. Up to 1,000 gather here, possibly the largest group on Earth. There's plenty of herring, but catching them in the fjords isn't easy. These orcas, though, are master fishers. They work as a team, calling out to each other to coordinate their movements. They herd the herring into tight schools, swimming beneath them and pushing them toward the surface. Then the predators unleash their signature move. They strike with their tails so hard they stun the herring. One hit, another hit. After that, they just collect their unconscious prey. By the way, the thresher shark uses a similar unusual technique. It swings its tail at 50 miles per hour, stunning the fish before eating it. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and check out the 2 previous videos.